There he is. Cameron's on. Look at Catherine Black. Catherine's killing it right now, you guys. She's selling all types of things. She's in pictures with champagne and a lot of different things, right? It's going great. She's always
Yes,
in a good mood. She's living her best life and she's in full control. Did you already cap? I think you already capped, right?
yes,
In the
I
first few
did.
weeks.
I did, which is so incredible.
So
Yes,
how
I
about that?
did.
I think you capped in like a week or two, right?
Well, basically on the first sell. So it wasn't a week because I didn't sell one in a week.
Oh, okay.
But
So the first
on
sale.
the first sell I've done with EXP, I capped. So that's
Wow.
unbelievable.
That's unreal. So
Amazing
that means
feeling.
you get 11 months for free.
Yes.
So 11 months at 100%. Gary Massa is drinking so much coffee right now because he's saying that's incredible. 11 months at 100%. What a
It is
deal.
incredible. Nice work, Catherine.
Yeah,
You
great
Not
did
to
it.
work.
forget,
Congrats.
it's an amazing feeling, you know. I've never felt that way actually.
That's an
Ever.
incredible
I
feeling.
will
Cameron
say.
knows it. Look at, we all know it. We love it. That's the
Yeah.
best feeling. Cam, what's our topic today? Bring me into the topic.
We're doing unique lead gen and lead gen
Ooh.
strategies that are maybe off the beaten path. So I think it's going to be a good one.
I love that. I love unique lead gen because I think everybody's trying to figure out how to get in front of people and have more leads that they can convert because we all know it's not the amount of leads that you draw in, it's the amount that you convert and how to convert those unique leads. So maybe we should even expand it upon that, where you can generate unique leads in different ways to do it that are cost efficient, but also how are you converting those unique leads that you're bringing in? Because I think that's even more important personally, right?
Definitely. I agree. Yeah. One of the biggest, I think, pitfalls that a lot of agents, new and experienced agents, get through or go through is what I call getting lead rolled or, steamrolled by leads, is where actually you can get too many raw leads coming in and you can't work them. And then you miss out on the ones buying. And then all of a sudden you have a big pot of nothing. So this is going to be a great topic today.
Love that. Love that. Well, because Catherine's on fire, I don't know how to say fire in French, but see, everything sounds better in French. How can you go wrong? I mean, I would
We
make a sale every day if I could speak French because everything would sound great. That's it. It all sounds
yeah,
fantastic.
I don't think we actually have this saying in French. I cannot even think of what we say when we say I'm on fire. I need to think of that. How do we translate that in
Yeah, we got
French?
to
If anybody
translate that.
speaks
That's
French
super
here, let me
important.
know. I forgot.
Listen, I am not going to sleep until we figure this out. I'm just telling you. It's super
Okay,
important to
all
know
right.
that.
I better come through for you guys.
Yes, I think the ROG will be on today. I just saw a video that he posted. He was out in the middle of a yard at a new listing. He looked like he was in the Arctic Circle freezing. He had, but of course, all he had on was his suit jacket, and I bet you it was negative 10 degrees. So he was in full Philly mode, battling the elements to get more listings. So that was really good. We have Dave's coming in, Matt's coming in. We have a lot of great people on today. This is going to be a lot of fun. So let's start off with Cam because I know Cam was in here first, and then we'll go to Catherine, then we'll go to Gary, and we'll go down the line. Okay. Cam, tell me what you're doing and share with everyone what you're doing to what unique methods are you using to generate not just quantity of leads, but quality of leads is the most important thing.
That's it. And that's like I was saying just a second ago, quality, in my opinion, will always trump quantity. Quantity makes a lot of work. Quality makes a lot of money. And that's really key, guys. That's the big differentiating factor of quality leads. And, when you're talking about innovative or let's talk about more niche kind of lead gen opportunities, my strategy and what we use and what I've used in the past and a lot of our agents are still using is really specializing into specific neighborhoods. Here in Florida, obviously, we have tons of communities. Everything's a gated community. And you can make a whole career out of just being the go-to person in one or two communities. So a couple of things that I have done and that other agents that we've trained on that have done that had a lot of success when, really focusing or niching down into a community is we've done what we call the the neighborhood library or the neighborhood bookshelf, where it is a just small, it looks like a little bird feeder in one of the medians of a lot of our communities have medians. And it says, you know, this is the neighborhood bookshelf. Please leave a book, take a book if you'd like it. And of course you have on the front opening page, this is brought to the neighborhood by me, right? Why is that important? Because you're able to target the people living in that neighborhood. They walk by that thing every day. It's something that's really neat. It's really cute. It brings value, and they see that. And every single person will walk up to it, open it up, see what it's all about. And that is one of the things that we've had a lot of success with. Another one has been for neighborhoods that you don't have activity in, or maybe that you're farming, but you don't have a listing in. Maybe you've sold them, maybe you just started farming them. You can do a food truck day. Talk with the HOA representative, say, hey, I'd like to sponsor a couple food trucks to come out and all get together. Of course, you have your branding on it. You have signs that are out there. This is brought to you by your group, your team, you as a realtor. Big deals. Same with car shows. Talk with the HOA reps in these neighborhoods. Say, hey, can we get together a car show? You'd be amazed how many neighbors will come out and talk to you. And they love their cars. They want to tell you all about their cool 67 Camaro, you know? And you can build a niche, and you don't even have to have a cool car because you're putting on the event. You're the organizer. And it's just really, it allows agents that don't even have or don't live in the neighborhoods to break in and start expanding. And then obviously you combine that with your mailers, you combine that with your open houses, you combine that with the traditional methods that we're all using, that works. And you start seeing that ascension. You start seeing the market domination where you're able to pick up one listing, then two listings, and the first one sells. Now you got 4 listings. And before you know it, you look at the numbers and you're like, dang, I got 45% saturation in this community. Oh, this is good. And it's just by building step by step by step. I didn't want to go into, you know, social media stuff. Obviously, that has been exhausted, you guys. Social media is completely free. You have to be posting new listings, anything, guys, anything. You have to be out there, putting yourself out there, videos on your face. It doesn't have to be professional. It just has to be consistently, constantly reminding the people that you are friends with. And that's another part. You got to be adding people as friends, but it constantly reminds them that you're an agent. So I'm not going to get into the social media side, but my belief is that the more niche you get into certain communities, the more that you specialize in them, the more you'll have sellers reach out to you that say, hey, you know, we've been seeing what you've been doing. We see it every week. We see it every month. We've been walking by that bookshelf. We come to the food trucks every month. We're thinking about selling our home. Those are slam dunks. They're not even interviewing anyone else. And that's the best quality lead you can have. So that's my thing. We can jump into a little more if we have time at the end. I want to make sure everybody has time to go. But I think niching down, you guys, that's going to be the key, and really specializing, being that go-to person. That's the best part.
You guys, and the greatest part about this whole thing is Cam Smith just got his license to drive. That's why he was so excited about all the cars. So let me go over to Catherine, the rose amongst all the thorns. And Catherine, what unique methods are you utilizing to generate more leads, especially in the luxury market? Because you do a lot of luxury in San Diego. What are you doing to generate more luxury leads?
Well, to be truthful, I'm really glad we are having this topic today because it's a big, huge question mark for me. So I really appreciate this topic. So what I will say has worked for me, and actually the listing I have now in La Jolla, in Montefiore complex, is because of me doing this, and is to actually do, when I have a listing coming up, I send an invitation for the residents of that complex to come to a party at my listing where I have champagne and wine and food, and just giving them an opportunity to see it. But what I find is that a lot of people who live in a complex, they love their complex, and they know people who wants to buy in that complex, or they want to buy a second unit in that complex. So I did kind of like this little invitation I will show you right now. I don't think you can see much, but on the front, it's inviting them, and on the back, it's bragging about how I sold a year ago one of these units with a testimonial of my client and a QR code that they can see the videos and photos. So that's how I got the listing from the last year event that I did at that complex. in terms of once I do get a lead, what I do is right away, I send what I call my bragging email, where I kind of, introduce myself and welcome them. And I'm excited to work with them and kind of all my, little highlight of my real estate accomplishment. But also right away, I put them in touch with my lender, which is crucial because he's awesome and he can captivate them if, maybe I was able to, but it's not secured yet. And that helps. I get them on the collaboration, their home search right away. And of course, I follow up with phone calls, text, email. I typically like to send pictures, make it fun. I just really harass them nicely. And until they tell me they adopted me or that I should never reach them again. But that's kind of how I try, how I work on getting my leads to commit to me.
I love that. I think that's great. I like the QR code on there. And where does that QR code take people?
It takes it to my website or to, in this case, was the past listing I had where I had a really nice video with models, lifestyle in La Jolla. In this case, I did not have yet a video for this new listing I have. So I'm using my past one, but with the picture of my new listing as well. So, and I make that feel special, that I want them to have the first look at this property in case they know somebody who wants to buy and, they can choose their neighbors. So these kind of things. But that has worked.
That's
But
great.
otherwise, I'm looking
And you
forward
guys
for
have,
everybody else.
you have to understand, Catherine has an unfair advantage because she speaks French and she has the French accent. So everything sounds better in French, right? I would be doing voiceovers on all my videos if I had that French accent. I would be converting everyone. That would be my unique lead generator just right there. But I think that's great. I like how you direct them to something where it captivates their imagination and it really shares with them how you market differently, right? Because that's the big thing that people are looking for. That's
And
really a great job.
When I met these clients, when they called me, they said one of the reasons why they are hiring me is because I was serving Dom Perignon champagne, which, by the way, I was not. What I did is that I had some, this bottle of champagne where you have you can dress them up in a little something. And it was like a famous, I think it was Piper champagne. So, but then I would be serving like Costco champagne, really.
Yeah.
So, but so I play a nice bottle of champagne, but then, so anyway, it's so funny what people remember. But if you just try to get out of the box a little bit, that's the wonderful thing in San Diego, at least. You don't have to go too crazy to impress people because not many realtors go out of their way to do great open houses or parties. And frankly, I just had some pastries and some cheese and then wine and champagne. How hard is that? It's not, but people are like, oh, they're really impressed with that. So, and my French accent, of course.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So it's all one Costco trip and
Yeah.
go on Amazon and order the champagne jackets, they're called. So you
Yes.
can get the Dom Perignon. They couldn't tell if it was Dom Perignon or Don Perignon, right? It doesn't matter. It's just the effort, you guys, because she is wowing people by doing it differently. She's not following the herd. So always think about it. You don't have to have a huge budget. And if you don't have the budget to do it, team up with a vendor, title reps, escrow reps, home inspection companies, termite companies, financial planners, accountants, anyone. Most of the time they'll give you a donation. You run to Costco, you get it. You order, 3 or 4 jackets, the champagne jackets online. So you have those ready to go. Oh, you just have one or two, and you shuffle in the champagne without anybody seeing. You keep it in a back room, and then you start pouring. Nobody will tell the difference. After at least one glass, nobody can tell the difference anyway. So it's all good.
No, everybody knows I'm a fraud now.
Well, if everybody says, hey, that's not Dom Perignon, say, oh, it isn't? Are you sure? maybe your taste buds are going. You know, that's why we need to sell your house. We got to move you on out of the place because I think the environment is affecting your taste buds. That's all. Right? It makes sense. Let's go to Gary Massa. He's not a tortilla chip magnet, but he does love Mexico. He is a native brother of Mexico, or adopted brother, I should say. Gary, what methods are you using, or unique methods, to generate leads in this type of market? I know the market that I've been seeing has been going up and down. It's been going in spurts. What are you doing to generate quality leads in this market? Can you give some tips?
Yeah, so I'll say a couple different things, and kind of piggybacking off of what Cam had said. You know, there's well, getting into that, there's so many ways to generate a lead, right? And I think that we could talk all day about different lead generation techniques, but for each individual, you know, I feel like people should focus on what they're good at and what they enjoy doing. Like, some people are great at door knocking. It works well for them because they enjoy doing it. But if you don't enjoy it, it comes out that way, you're not going to succeed in that level, right? Some people, love or hate internet leads. So I think it's one thing to, first of all, identify what you're good at, passionate about, and where you thrive, right? In the near 20 years that I've been in real estate, I've tried so many different lead generation tactics. And to the point of, Cam, like, I've a couple of years ago was generating thousands of like internet, home value leads that we were getting. We couldn't even get to all of them, and it was unfortunate. Just, there was leads dying on the vine. Some worked, some didn't. But even by statistics, those are very low conversion rates. So when we get into conversion and where you're spending your time, energy, and money, and what's really working. So for me, like I said, I've gone through so many different types of lead gen, trials. What's always worked for me is really building communities and building relationships. So the one thing that I would encourage everybody to do, first of all, before trying a new lead gen source or getting into the beginning of the year like we're at right now, go back and evaluate what you've closed over the last year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever the case. Where has all of the, your business come from? You'll probably recognize, and I do this every year, no matter how much money I spend in other lead gen, areas, it's always coming from past client sphere, referral, kind of that bucket, right? And again, that's where I focus a lot in building the community. You always have to add in new business, otherwise it doesn't grow. And that's just a fact. So you can't rely on just one pillar. But what I realized a couple of years ago, after spending money in, various areas that I really didn't find the return on, is that if I found out what was really working for me and focused on improving that particular bucket to convert more transactions, I was finding more value in building my, number of transaction count and more transactions based within that one bucket, because we are focusing on making that better. How can we improve it? Also, while focusing on how, the top 2 or 3 others that were providing some sort of results and trying to improve that as well. But there's so many shiny objects out there that you can get distracted from, and I made this mistake myself as well, is focusing so hard on, let's just say, internet lead gen. I was not working on my past clients and sphere, or doing the things that Catherine was talking about, marketing every listing, getting back into the neighborhood, all those sort of things that have helped me get to where I am. It's easy to lose focus, and then that particular bucket starts going down. So I think, in terms of unique lead gen opportunities, I don't think I'm doing anything different than most what other people are doing, or what other opportunities are out there. But I think what I've done well is been able to identify what's working for me and improve and expand on that before spending extra money on things that may be considered shiny objects, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's important, and I think in this market right now where it's going in spurts, it's important to get belly to belly and do things that create community, right? I think that's where you're going to get your best leads. Everybody always hopes that they'll get a lead from an internet or something else. The internet leads, guys, quite honestly, are not that great. I mean, unless you're a part of a Zillow Flex team and you're getting a massive amount of leads, I haven't ever found them that great. A sign call, if you answer your phone, is great if you can get them at that moment and you know what questions to ask. But the best leads possible are past clients, people and throwing events like Catherine's throwing when you get a new listing and meeting all the neighbors and doing something unique and different so you can get belly to belly. Because then they really get to know your personality and their guard comes down if you do that.
And I'll finish with this, like some of the best community building sources that I've found in the past were like within my kids' sports teams, getting involved, sponsoring, bringing coffee to the games, or just doing something a little bit different to build those friendships. Same thing with the school. I participated in a running club, brought coffee for the running club for all the parents to be there. And you start doing things like that more consistently, like maybe there's some other community within your bubble that you can get involved with, and just put yourself in the position to start meeting with people, deliver value. And after some time, you'll start to get that respect and those questions. It just starts to come naturally.
Yeah, I think that's super important. That's a great point. Let's go over to Brian Yarber. Brian, what unique methods would you suggest for people to do right now to generate, leads? And how do you generate leads without spending a ton of money?
Well, I'm going to piggyback on what Gary just said. I'm a firm believer in your success is a clue in your history of transactions. So if you go back and look at your last 10, 20, however many years you've been in the business, whether you're 1 year in and you haven't done a deal, it's a little different. But for those who have a track record, your niche will find you, but your niche will change as you are in this business. And what I mean by that is I'm at a different age category now than I was when I started. So what's found me now is a niche of trustee sales. I have friends that parents are dying. My last 5 sales were trustee successors calling me up because we have that in common, and but what you can do is you can look and say, okay, where did I get my last 5? Maybe just clients. If you don't even have any transactions yet, where are your clients coming from? And then focus on that, because you'll find that you're doing something naturally that you don't really realize you're doing, but it's finding you. So the niche will find you if you look at it and do what Gary said. You go back and you track it. And again, for me, I know right now trustee sales are just what I'm going after. My book of business will always feed me. Referrals will always feed me. But I do believe, I think it was Cam, is if you're not marketing to your past clients, and I know Randy does this really well, and he'll probably touch on this, you have to market to your past clients, even if you know they're never going to buy another house from you. They just need to see that you're active as a real estate agent and you're sharing your wins. And I'll give you an example. I shared a win in Palm Springs. I helped a friend buy a house out in Palm Springs. I'm 150 miles from Palm Springs. But I had another client reach out to me and say, wow, Brian, I just saw you just sold a home in Palm Springs. You're in San Diego. Is that what you focus on? And I said, no, but I'm licensed in the state of California. So I can go anywhere in California for my own clients. I might have to find some boots on the ground. But my niche is that I want to be available for all my clients, no matter where they want to go, and focus on feeding them the idea that I'm never too busy for them. That's a Brian Buffini line, right? Never too busy for any of your business, never too busy for your referrals, never too busy. So you want to make sure you adopt a language that feeds you either a buyer, a seller, or a referral. You're always looking for those 3 things: buyer, seller, referral. Don't give up on the conversation. You don't have to be so bold and blatant about it. But what I think you should do is get real creative with how you talk about real estate in such a way that it invites the people to share something with you. And I shared on this a couple weeks ago, which was, what are you considering doing in this market? And you get quiet, because somebody might tell you they're looking to help their kids buy a home. And if you don't invite that conversation into what it is you're talking about, you're going to miss out on some really good opportunities. So really the free leads flow, Pete, I would just say, is invite the lead flow to come to you based on the way you talk to people. What you say matters. How you say it matters more. Focus on inviting conversations that bring you deals. And then again, do what Gary said. Just kind of look back, look at your track record. If you've done 10 deals, probably 6 or 7 of them actually were very similar. And it could be you're just really good at converting leads in an open house. And those are free. You're door knocking. Do the activities that invite the conversation. Get really good at that.
Well, and I think Brian made a really good point. Understand who your target market is and who the people you connect with. Even, do this exercise where you write out all the unique elements of the people that you're attracting or you've worked with in the past that you've had the best experiences. Go and sit for 10 minutes in quiet and just write out what that potential buyer or seller looks like so you can manifest and attract it. That's really, really important. It costs you nothing, you guys. You have to really understand a lot of them are going to have similar traits that your energy is attracting, not only from the universe, but from the market. And everybody, I don't mean to speak in generalities, but I do believe this. Everybody always wants to revert the conversation back to real estate somehow, because they're always looking for opportunity, or they're looking for their dream house, or they're looking for a secondary house, or an Airbnb, or an investment, or housing for their kids, or housing for their elderly parents, or they wanted to discover how to do an ADU, or how to do a casita, or put in a pool. There's always something that people are looking. You have to be their resource, and you have to listen very well and give really straightforward information that helps them. Provide it to them. Don't ask for the order for them to sell or buy. Say, what can I provide to you to help you to make your life easier, to give you an opportunity? And they may say, I need a referral for a pool, or I need a referral for somebody to build an ADU. Well, I have those referrals, and then just connect them with the right people. And always pre-frame, hey, listen, I don't warranty or guarantee anybody else's work except my own. That's the only thing I have control of. So use your best judgment. These are people in the past that I've had a good run with. But you have to make your own judgment on it, and let me know how it goes, and follow up with them. Don't just forget about it. Call them a few weeks later. Hey, how did it go with that vendor? How did it go with this person? Be the resource. I think that's super important, especially this day and age when people are flying all over the place and doing things. You have to stay in front of them, and also make them aware that you're part of a network with 90,000 agents in 28 countries. So that sends a signal right there. No matter what they want to do, where they want to go, what's motivating them, you can help them. You may not know that their son just got into TCU and they want to buy a condo or apartment near the campus for him to live in for the next 4 years. I mean, there's all types of angles, you guys, right? That's the key thing. Keep asking the questions. We're always marketing to two groups. We're marketing to the agents, and we're marketing to the general public and the consumers. All right. Both groups are equal. You have to stay in front of both groups. That's really, really important. Great stuff, Brian. All right, let's go over the ROG. He's in from being outside in the elements of Philly. He was freezing. He was out in front of a new listing. He's the only guy with no winter jacket on. He's out there. He's freezing. His hand was shaking, but he was talking about his new listing and how he's going to sell it. What are you doing to generate unique leads right now? What unique methods are you using to generate leads?
Kim, you wanted to say something real quick on that last point?
I want to say one real quick thing, because Brian, what you said there was so important. But one thing I did learn from many, many years of Mike Ferry back in the day was it's okay to be bold. If you have the confidence that you're able to call up someone and say, hey, this is a business call. I just wanted to see how I can help you in real estate, because that's my profession and I'm always here for you. I have a great vendor list. And then you can offer them things. It shortens the conversation sometimes. That's not always the way to go, but it is okay to be bold, you guys. It's okay to stick yourself out there and ask for it, because that's what I think what a lot of people are missing. Everything else, super spot on. I love it. All right, Craig, go for it.
All right. You guys are, I mean, I got a bunch of notes that are sitting here because I'm like watching this. I actually texted some of them to my VAs already. But one of the things, like Pete said it this morning, it was about 8:20. It was 28 degrees. And I was out in front of a new listing that hasn't even hit yet. And I put a post on story. What we did is we just posted on story. Then we carried it to a and then as I'll go in and say, hey, by the way, did you check it out yet? And they're going to say, no, I don't have a link. We're trying to create a conversation. Then what happens is we work with brevity in our CRM, and we also and then place it in there saying, check this out. So my VAs are doing all this. So now anybody that clicks that automatically goes into my Brevity, and I can suck all their information out. And then I'm following up with them double way. It's and my Facebook and everything they're going. That's the key that we've been doing is we all talk about a listing, but then we don't put the information about the listing out in the comments and keep it going. Because the second somebody hits it, you want to thank it and do it. That you're not seeing. They want to see involvement. Cam taught me something also. It's the entertainment point. That's why I said it's 28 degrees, but the real estate market's still hot here in Philly. Is doing. The other thing that we've done is also how we've broken into more luxury in the area where I'm living is we're doing things that are different. I spent $15,000 last year on postcards that are 6x9s. Before I was doing none. I made over 200,000. We're doing different, and we even did it for our Valentine's Day card. We didn't have a property to put out, but what we're doing is Catherine was saying of a house, this is a video from me. I'm saying now on this new house we just listed, when we do this postcard, it goes out, it's going to say special message here. My QR code that at least I know they did it. Then I'm sending them a thank you note. Hey, by the way, thanks for checking us out. So one of the things, like I said, we learned. This goes one to my past clients and one to my farm area that we're working on our luxury. Little different messages. But again, the same point is do something that nobody else is doing. We've also now gone to a QR code out front of the house. It actually has two of them. What's your homework? And check this house out 3D tour right now. They click it, bang, we're sucking information in. People walk their dogs. People are curious. People want instant information. They don't want to have to make a phone call. You're not answering if you're with a client. All my calls go to my phone. So what we've done is taken all the technology ideas that you all have talked about for 6 months. We've concentrated it. We condensed it. We made it personal. We're using social media with it, and we're tying it in back to our templates, though. That's all the ROG is doing. Simple stuff that I don't even know how to do it. I've listened to what everybody's done. Put it on a process, let it go, and let it run. And by the way, if you're not using that Opus Clips, you're crazy. You're absolutely crazy. We are now taking all of our videos, like we have the radio show, and all they are is videos of me interviewing other people. I need to get a person that's going to video the two of us, and I'm working on that. But the difference is we take it, it breaks it down, and then it scores it. It actually scores what are over 90% chances of people seeing it and reading it. Those are the ones we're posting. So it's taking the mindset out of it, everybody. It's simple. It's here. Do what everybody else is doing. That's the key. Do what everybody else is not doing in this market. Go right when everybody else goes left. So that's what it is.
No, listen, the ROG is bringing the heat in the cold area of Philly. I love it. And you guys, he's doing a video next time on how to win Craig's red sports coat or red jacket for Valentine's Day. That's what he's going to do.
That? You want to know something funny?
I love it.
It's AI. It's all AI.
I love that.
I don't own a red sports coat.
I know you don't, but you do have a red smoking jacket. I know you do. So that's what it should be. It should be win a red smoking jacket for Valentine's Day. I guarantee you'd get a ton of hits. Just on that.
Put some things out there about yourself. I did something about Philly's candy, peanut chews. These are my favorite. What are yours? Put something out. Make yourself approachable. Make yourself, the people want to learn more about it. But just saying, everything's coming from here. We're in a full twist in the 2025. All we're doing is condensing things into the systems that we all should be using.
I love it. Perfect stuff. Great, great tips. Let's go over to Matt Battiotti. He's not bragging. He's just applying for a job. Look at him. He's in his unique office there. It's very modern. He's the first one in the morning after his morning surf. in probably 60-degree shark infested waters. Matt, what are you doing uniquely to generate leads in your marketplace right now? How are you standing out?
Well, so I'm still a huge believer in direct mail. I think it's the best bang for your buck of all the marketing that I've ever done. We did just do a neighborhood sunset soiree for a new listing. We just invited the neighbors to it, and we served champagne, and my wife made a really nice charcuterie board. And it's a relatively small neighborhood in Encinitas, about 70 homes, but we had a good turnout. And even though it was raining, but the important thing is we got to meet, I know most of those neighbors, but we got to, connect with people in the neighborhood that might be selling down the road. So that was really great to do. I still do a ton of direct mail. I'm not doing any, like TV and radio at the moment, because I'm more focused on hitting a specific area. I don't want to draw, the thing about radio and TV is that signal goes all over, huge area, right? So you get leads all over the area. And I don't particularly want leads all over the area. I want them focused. So I'm doing this magazine. I don't know if you guys can see it, but anyway. You probably can't see it with my thing here, but the magazine I've showed you guys before that I think works really well, that gets mailed out every month, but I've also started putting them at places in the area that people hang out and read things, like car washes and coffee shops, which is, very inexpensive because I don't have to mail them. But the bottom line is, we're in the real estate business, but we're in the lead generation business, and we're in the marketing business. And so even though we all get busy selling real estate, we have to never forget that we always have to be marketing ourselves. I just saw something on Inman the other day that Gary Keller was at their annual Keller Williams thing that they do, was saying that he believes that for the next few years, there's really not going to be any easy deals, right? There's not going to be those, because the volume of transactions is going to be lower. So that means you've got to be out there beating the pavement, generating business. You're not going to have deals falling in your lap like you would when everybody's buying and selling, right? I think that article said that the number of transactions in 2025 is still going to be the lowest since, I think, 1995 nationally. So bottom line, you've got all the things. I mean, I took a bunch of notes from what Cameron said, and I love the idea of a food truck and bookshelf and a car show. And of course, we all have to be doing social media. But the bottom line is, I think the biggest takeaway is we've got to continually be marketing ourselves for business, whether it's past clients or new clients. You cannot be asleep at the wheel. You've got to be aggressively going after it all the time.
Love that stuff. And Matt's a master marketer, you guys. He gets out there and he's consistent with his marketing, and that's the most important thing. You have to be consistent. You don't have to have a huge budget. You just have to be consistent with whatever your budget is to do that marketing and stay in front of people, because people don't forget about you. They feel you forget about them. So why should they reward you? And everybody always knows someone in real estate. So you have to be one of the two people that they think of in real estate to have an opportunity. That's the key thing. And like I said, the more you put out there, the more it comes back to you. So I think that's great. I wanted to share a tip with everyone that we started using on all our open houses. It's a free app. It's called Curb Hero. Start using Curb Hero. Okay, I'll put it in the chat. And that is a open house app that's really slick. You can customize the questions and it catches people's information. And when you have an iPad there on a stand that people can type into, first of all, they're not going to scribble the wrong email or not put in their phone number. You just have to say, look, we use this unique app. We're not going to bother you. We just want to know who's seeing the house for security purposes and so forth. Nowadays, you never know. And it's important to my clients and the sellers that we do that. So that's really, really important. Let's go over to Dave Luxury Lawson out in Park City.
Pete, real quick.
Yes,
Pete,
go ahead.
I heard a statistic with one of the guys who was on the show with me yesterday. In 2022, he said $4.7 trillion of mortgage business was done.
Wow.
Last year, 1.7 trillion.
Wow.
So that means people are buying with either portfolio money and or also the market and inventories down. So that's a key idea, that these mortgage guys are starving too, and they're getting tighter. All right. And you notice by you're getting phone calls by more and more of them. Make sure you're aligning yourself with 2 or 3 good ones that have a past database also, because 80% of those agents are out of the business. 80% of the agents are out of the business in 5 years, and 83% never follow up with their clients. So what this guy is doing, and I teamed up with him for our new construction, he knows Brevity. He's going to come in and clean up my Brevity and show me some of the campaigns involved, and he's with Movement Mortgage. What he's going to do also is go to the areas where he did mortgages in the X amount of years in the past, and we're going to co-market them to him. If you're not thinking about refinancing and you're thinking about selling, talk to. So now we're using his database, and I'm going to be the realtor preferred for his database because 80% of those realtors are gone. So use somebody else's market. That's what we're doing.
Hey,
Sorry
hey,
for
Pete.
interrupting there.
Go
Hey,
ahead,
Pete,
Randy.
I'm gonna jump in and hog because I didn't get a chance to speak last time, and every now and then I
Okay.
can't make it because of my kiddos. But I got some things I want to like actually share on the screen that is free for you guys to generate leads right now in a very specific niche. How does that sound? Is that
Awesome.
Can I do that?
I mean,
Okay.
listen, Lech Walesa has nothing on you. You should be the president of Poland. Go ahead.
That's it. So obviously I do a lot with investors, and that's a really good niche. If you want to go into that, you can check out investoragentnation.com. That's our YouTube channel. You can learn a lot that we do there with investors. They keep feeding me business constantly. And this is a kind of a side note to what I'm going to talk about. But one thing that Pete, you reminded me of is be the resource, right? And in the investor niche, where I nurture a lot of investors, I sell a lot of their flips. One thing you got to remember when you think about working with an investor, that doesn't mean you're only going to be doing business with their investing activities. You're not always going to be selling their flip. You're not always going to be looking for a flip for them. They are people like you. They want to own a home. If they don't own one yet, they might be selling their primary home. They have friends and family. So ironically, the last, like right now I have 2 listings that came from my investor community niche. One of them is just an estate sale that one of their family members passed away, and one of the investors happens to be the beneficiary of the estate, and she's got to, dispose of this property. So she came to me, right? This is not a flip. This is just part of her family estate. Another one is another investor that has a friend that wanted to list a home, and she didn't know exactly how to list it because she's a new agent with me, and we co-listed it. It's a regular home. So, and the most recent is, which blows my mind how it could happen, is one of my past investor clients emails me a few weeks ago, Randy, I have an industrial property that I've owned for, a couple decades. I used to own a business, blah, blah, blah. Right now, I want to sell one of the buildings. I'm like, let me see if I can help. I always say, let me check, right? Because of what Pete is saying, you got to reach out to your network, right? You don't know until you ask who you get connected to. And I know that I have a great commercial agent at EXP that I'm pretty good friends with. So I was like, yeah, let me look into it. Guys, within a week, no, this is no lie. This is not to brag about me, but it's literally the power of resourcing out to your network. I was able to partner with a commercial agent. We locked up the listing, right, at $5 million. We got the offer for this industrial building. This is in Riverside County, California. We are now in contract at $5.275 million. And I'm partnering with a commercial agent, splitting it 50-50 because I couldn't do it by myself. I don't understand commercial. And I legally, being at EXP residential, I can't even take that listing, right? So it's the same thing for you guys. If you have a luxury listing and you feel afraid because you've never done one, shoot, partner with someone that has the credibility, right? Like it can literally happen like that. But what I was really going to talk about is the assumable niche, which I know you guys heard me talk about over and over again, but I actually want to show you right now how someone is doing it so well right now. And it's, some of you know him, it's Gary Meek from Sacramento area, guys. All right, can you see my screen right now? Yes? Okay. So Gary Meek, he's an EXP agent. He's like all in on assumable niche. And bottom line, it's you need to lean into sometimes to what's sexy, what people want, right? If you remember years ago when the market was crashing, everybody wanted to buy a pre-foreclosure or a foreclosed home. Like they're like, oh, I want a bank-owned property. I want to, but really, what do they want? They, in their mind, they just want a deal. So, okay, well, if I find you a deal that's not a pre-foreclosure, would you buy it? The answer is yes, right? So you have to ask the right questions, understand what is really their goal. So when someone says to me, Randy, I'm interested in assumable loan type of property, what they're really saying, I'm interested in having a lower monthly payment, right? And then you need to dig deeper. Okay, what does that look like? What kind of monthly payment are we talking about, right? Because then you can take them down a track that's not only assumable. You start the conversation about assumables or pre-foreclosure or whatever they're excited about, but you need to understand what is their actual goal. And if in an assumable, if they assume a low interest rate of 3%, that means they're after a lower monthly payment. That's all they're after. So if you can take that conversation and say, okay, so would you buy a new construction home if a builder was to offer you a 4% rate? Yeah, of course. Okay, well, now you can look at new builds with the same client that just reached out to you for assumable. So that's just an example. How you can take that lead and transition it to a regular purchase that's not assumable. If I ask the client, if I can buy down the rate to a 5% with a 3-2-1 buy down with my lender, are you interested? Of course. Where would that put me on the monthly payment? Again, not an assumable, but I started a conversation because of assumable. So how do you find these leads, right? Here's an example. You guys can literally go to your MLS, look up a listing that, just got listed, go down the line. And let's say this was one of them. Nowhere in the public description does it say that this property has an assumable loan, which is the most common thing that happens. Most listing agents do not ask their sellers, hey, Mr. Seller, do you happen to have an assumable loan? They don't ask that question. But the reality is if a homeowner has an FHA or a VA loan, they are all assumable. So now the next question is, oh, great. When did you buy the home? Most likely the rate was probably going to be pretty low if you bought it, 2020, 2021, 2022, right? But most agents are not doing that. So hence it's not being marketed in public remarks, right? So what do you do with this? Well, you take the address, you go to propwire.com, write this down, propwire.com. You see on your on the screen, right? I logged in. You can create a free account, guys. This doesn't cost you anything. This is all free marketing. You put in the address, and guess what? This property has an FHA loan for last recorded day in 2021, and this gives you an estimated interest rate based on the recording of this loan, because it's pretty easy for this algorithm to say, oh, wait a minute, this loan was recorded on July 26, 2021, rates at that point were this. So they give you an estimate of what that rate could be, and they're literally on point within a few percentage, like minimal change, right? And here's what the real interest rate is on this one. Actually, I don't have that up, but it's actually 2.65. Gary Meek is advertising this particular listing on Facebook without disclosing the address. He's just saying, hey, 2-1 property, 2.675 interest rate, assumable loan, right? And gets people interested and inquiring about the lead. And I'm going to show you live. Look at this one. This is a different one he's advertising. Anybody out there looking for a 5-bedroom, 3-bath with 1 full bath and bath downstairs in West Roseville, 2,200 square feet. Oh yeah, and it has an assumable 2.9 FHA rate. Let's talk. Look at all the people interested in this post. If you just put up a regular listing and not that doesn't have an assumable, you will not get this much interactions, guys. Usually, unless it's priced ridiculously low. What's getting people's attention is this 2.99 FHA assumable rate. Now, will these buyers necessarily, if this is the perfect home for them, will they actually buy with an assumable in this house? Most likely not. And I know that for a fact because I've generated hundreds of assumable leads. And I can tell you, most of them don't close with an assumable. They buy new builds. They buy a regular VA loan with interest rate buy downs, 3-2-1 buy downs. They go the traditional route, most of them. As long as you understand how to convert that lead and talk to them about what's most important to them, which is the lowest monthly payment, right? So this is real life. Like you can literally go to the MLS right now, pull up an address, start going down the line, see which ones have an assumable loan. What I would do if this agent is not marketing it, I would reach out to the listing agent, right? And say, hey, Mr. Agent, I see this great condo you have on the market. By the way, I don't know if you're aware, but your client has an FHA loan and it looks like they have a rate somewhere around 2.8. Are you aware what an assumable loan is? Most listing agents don't. You educate them about the topic and then ask, like, by the way, I have clients that might be interested in your property and maybe doing the assumable, you know, as an option. Can you ask your client, would they be okay with that? Like, would they be interested in getting an offer from a client that wants to assume their loan at 2.8% if that's what it is once you confirm it? And most agents are going to be like, yeah, let me check. And then they get back to you like, yeah, they would be interested. Great. And that's what Gary does. Then he posts it here, gets leads. And this agent is not even getting these leads because he's not even marketing that assumable rate. So you literally are creating an off-market assumable property listing that's already active, but it's not marketed that way. But you're doing it and marketing it that way and getting the leads that this property agent would have gotten, but they're not. Is this confusing? Are you guys following what I'm doing? Pete, I know you're a smart guy, but anybody, Cameron, are you following? This make sense? Okay.
Randy, can I add one thing that I learned about assumable loans in the last couple weeks in one of my last transactions?
Mhm.
Anybody can assume a VA loan. I always thought that you had to be, you had to, qualify for the VA, but anybody can qualify to assume a VA loan. Now, there are some things that happen, like the vet would lose their, part of their VA eligibility or whatever the case, but anybody can qualify for that. So it's not just limited to anybody else. So that's one thing that I learned. And there is a company that I met that actually will help you go through the assumable process. And I'm sure there's lots of other people out there. If you don't know what you're doing with it, you can bring in one of these consultants. They'll charge a 1% fee, but that is available. So, don't let that be a hurdle.
And just to show you the power of how many people are interested in this, we started a Facebook group a year ago, VA Assumable Home Loans. This is geared towards consumers, military people. We have 5,000 members organically. This group grew organically, guys. We didn't advertise this group. Organically, people want this niche. They are interested in this just like people were interested in pre-foreclosures 10 years ago and beyond. This is a hot niche. You should leverage the heck out of it. And this is like, I'm not making this shit up, man. I'm just passionate about how agents are missing the mark on lead gen. Mike, my business partner, posted this post in our group, right? Generated, and I'll show you how many leads generated. She posted this 14 hours ago, right? And we do this every few weeks, right? We don't try to spam our own group. Within hours, guys, we got 10 leads that filled out our website form that they want to be connected to a realtor. We got 10 leads from that one post in that Facebook group. This just shows you how much interest there is in this niche. And again, I'll repeat this again. That doesn't mean that they will buy assumable. Most will not. And I'll put some links in the comments for you guys, but so you can check out to learn more about the niche and then leverage, because you can become an expert in assumables within 30 minutes, guys, to an hour. It's not rocket science. and then do what I just showed you, you'll generate leads like this.
Randy, I want to throw you a kudos. I took what you said about this a couple weeks ago and shared it with a bunch of new agents that I'm mentoring through EXP. One of them also likes to buy properties. He went into PropWire, pulled down all the assumable and also vacant absentee owners, got their
Yep.
phone numbers, uploaded it in the drop dial in KV Core. I think he spent $50. It
Yeah.
made all the phone calls that left his voice message on their voice because a half ring, doesn't even answer. He got a call back, ended up getting 2 properties, one he's selling and one he bought.
Yes.
All
I
off
mean,
of what you said. And this guy's 3 weeks, 4 weeks in the business.
love this, man.
Our problem
Thanks.
is we don't do the work. And thank you, Randy. This proves exactly. But it works.
Yes.
It works. And
Amen.
it's free.
Amen.
I love that. Great stuff. I love the propwire.com. And you can use that for anything. You can use it for pre-foreclosures. You can use it for probates. You can use it for estates. You can use it for anything, you guys, and it's free. And you know, Randy and I have a saying, if it's free, it's for me. So just
That's
use
right.
it. The problem is that people don't use it, right? Randy, don't you see that? I mean, he coaches a lot of people, you guys, with investors and so forth, and what to do with investors. People get excited and then they don't do it. You got to put it into action, right? Right?
Yeah.
Listen, let's go on to Dave Luxury Lawson. He's fresh off the slopes. Look at his hair's pulled back. He just came down 90 miles an hour down a double black diamond, and he's ready to go. Dave, what are you doing to get, what unique processes are you using to get leads right now in this market? Take us
Well,
home.
some of the things that everybody said, and I won't repeat them, but I just wrote down a couple of things. I only have 2 minutes. Number one, it's back to basics, gentlemen and ladies. The thing is we are in a sales business. That means we need to be selling. That means we need to be talking to people. That means that we need to be talking to people daily. Who wants to get 10 more deals in the next year guaranteed? Raise your hand. There's a simple formula. You know what it is? Talk to 10 people a day. You'll get 10 extra sales in the next year. Who wants 20? Guess what? Talk to 20 people. Okay. Next thing I wrote down is I almost never get off the phone without asking for a referral. And it's really simple, but not just ask for a referral, but be specific and just let people know that I'm essentially in 50 states. I work with our, at EXP and our, 88,000 agents or whatever. I know the best agents in virtually every market. And so part of my job is to make sure that I don't let you get tied up with an agent who's inexperienced. So if all you have to do is ask. I finished my books last year, and the amount of referral income I got was more than what most people make in a year. Okay? But you'll never get it if you don't ask. Okay? The next thing, Craig and different people have said, QR codes. I have QR codes on every single piece of marketing that we're doing, and it gets people to raise their hands. And the other thing is have you guys heard that 70% of the agents that are licensed in the United States have not sold a property in the last year? So what does that mean? That means that 70% of the agents are out of the business. Like, just no one's told them yet, right? But if you haven't sold anything, or you sold 1 or 2 properties, you're out of the business. So what does that mean? That means that agents are quitting or they've already quit. And when people quit in masses, Craig said, you're spending more money on mailers now, right? the mailers that we're doing are infinitely better right now than they were a couple years ago when everybody had money. So use the mailers, use QR codes.
All right, Dave, we got like 1 minute left.
Yeah. So no, that's it. So I'm just going to say those are just some of the things that I was thinking about as everybody else was talking. I could have said some of the same things. So that's all I got.
All right, awesome. Listen, you guys, a lot of unique methods to generate leads today. Hopefully you take some of those. Don't take all of them. Take one and put it into action today. You know, sign up for propwire.com and get a free account, or start reaching out to some of these guys and saying, hey, how can I duplicate your mailers? Or how can I duplicate what you're doing with the parties? Or do you have a list, a checklist that you use when you throw a soiree, right? I like to use the word soiree because it's French. It elevates the whole thing, and you can have a neighborhood soiree, you can have a summer soiree, you can have a sunset soiree, and that's where you're going to get belly to belly with people, and they get to know you and they get to know your personality. But just ask them questions, make it all about them. You already know your story, you don't know their story. Ask people questions. They love to talk about themselves and their families and their journey. That's the big thing. But all this stuff works, you guys, but you have to take action and you have to go do it. All right. Everybody have a great weekend. Let's pass this forward and pay it forward and pass it forward to other friends and people in the industry who are looking to elevate their game, elevate their production, invite them to this mastermind every Thursday, 9 to 10 Pacific, 12 to 1 Eastern, and take notes. We do record them. You have to be part of the tribe and the tribe Facebook group to see the recordings, but you know, we welcome everyone. This is an open forum. We want everybody to succeed, and we want everybody to have a great and productive weekend. So good luck this weekend. Let's sell some things and have some success stories. Thanks, guys.
Great job, everyone.
Merci beaucoup. Bonne journée tout le monde. À bientôt.